Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. So, today we're going to go over these little clamshells. We're going to have a clam bake, y'all. Uh, so, I got the Miyoo Mini Flip. The Mini Flip, not the Miyoo Flip. That's the Miyoo Flip. That's the Mini Flip. So, I decided to gather all these little clamshells that I had and kind of go over them. Since realistically, they're all about the same price, ranging from 40, 50 bucks to 70 ish, 80, whatever. I figured I'd go over each of them and give you my opinion on what's the best one to buy right now. So we are definitely in the clamshell era of these devices. Okay. And if you look at the history of it, how it all kind of started and slowly built up, and then it started targeting specifics. So we kind of found ourselves in the clamshell, GBA SP emulation era, which we're still in, except for the clamshell form factor. They have upped it from these devices to the DS style two screen, which we see with the Thor, the RGDS, Ioneo's really overpriced devices. That's kind of where we're at. Now, I remember when the clamshell game started, I was watching all this come out. People were like, "Oh my god, a clamshell! This is what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for a clamshell emulation device." Now, when that was going on, I was reading these comments. I got tired of being the guy going through saying there's actually been a clamshell emulation device for a while. It's just not that good. And it was the original Powkitty V90. This is the V90S sitting here. And I had to explain that over and over. Like, it wasn't a good handheld. It struggled to run a lot. Like, I played Super Nintendo games on that device that were struggling. And I don't just mean Yoshi's Island. Yeah, so since then, all these companies have just vastly improved their clamshells. All right, we are still stuck in the clamshell era. We got a little break with just getting the 34XX from Ambernick, an actual GBA clone. Then they stepped out and made the slide, which I really wanted to like, but I didn't. Less is more when it comes to that. Okay, I appreciate the fact that they made it to where it's going to run PS2, and but that made it too big. It made it too bulky because you had to throw in a fan and all this other stuff. It could have been smaller, and I know you guys are probably tired of hearing this. At this point, I'm just beating a dead horse. But really, it could have been smaller. It could have been better. It could have been cheaper. But let's move on from the slide discussion, because you know me, I'm gonna grab onto that and I'm gonna talk about it for 5 minutes about how it pisses me off, and then I'm gonna end up targeting something else, and 20 minutes later we're not talking about what I'm here to talk about. So let's move on. Let's start with the Mini Flip. Now, this is what I'm going to be comparing every one of these to, because this is new. These all have been out and available for a while. Now, the one thing I will always give Miyoo, I will always give them this. They always send you a case. That is nice. So every device you buy from Miyoo, just take $10 off that, and that's your device price, and the extra 10 you're paying, you're getting this case. And I love the little controller for the zipper. So, and this thing comes with the USB-C cable, a little flash card reader that you should throw away, and a USB-C to 3.5 cable. That way you can do audio. No one uses that shit. Anyway. So, when Miyoo first did their flip, now, they announced this and were showing off images of the Miyoo Flip. This one right here. Let's see if I can dim the screen. I did not intend to leave this one too high. But they were showing this off. Wow, that is the lowest. I hate Sorry, getting ahead of myself. If you want to know where things rank, like I was saying, so they show this off, and they have all these different colors and renders, and they have this black and green one. And the first time I seen it, I was like, oh, have to get the black and green one, right? The black and green one is 100% necessary. I love it. I need it. Have to have it. Of course, they never actually release a black and green one. Teasing bastards. Anyway, I'm excited about it. Now then, after showing it off, they didn't do anything. It just sat there. We get the Miyoo A30, and that had a rough launch, but thanks to, the community, we get like Spruce and all that. And then the Miyoo A30 was slept on because it was too late. A lot of times with these devices, if you launch them and it's a flop and people hate it, you're dead. There is no second chance in this game, okay? Doesn't happen that way. I'd say it's like an anticipated game is launching on Steam. You get it. It has server issues. Of course, they probably tagged it early access because they want your money now before they finish the game, and then after they get it, they don't finish the game. I'm going to stop. The game launches, server issues, people can't connect, it's laggy as shit. You see the game population go from a couple million down to a couple 100,000 overnight. Most of those players don't return. And it's the same with handhelds. You launch a handheld and it's shit, not many people are going to buy it. I mean, people will still buy it because, well, you're selling something. And I'm a firm believer in if you have something to sell, somebody out there wants to buy it. So, yeah, they slept on it. Didn't get anything. Got the Miyoo A30. This was still nowhere to be found. And Bernick fires a shot, releases the 35XX SP. Wonderful device. A little big, but wonderful device. Absolutely just taking that market share that Miyoo could have captured as the first clamshell after the V90. But for some reason they did the A30. Way to shit the bed, Miyoo. So this comes out and just sells gangbusters. I mean, people are left and right. Everybody I know bought one. Okay, I know I had a couple pre-ordered. And when I opened it, I was so damn excited. This thing was great. I was in. Yeah, Miyoo does theirs. The hinge sucks. They're breaking left and right. Miyoo's response is, well, the one we have here isn't broken. Many of you have probably seen that video. Where the guy had a broken hinge, sends a video of it to Miyoo. They respond with a video of a hinge working fine. No one gives a shit that your hinge is working fine. That doesn't mean anything. Great customer service, Miyoo. But Miyoo is a lot like Windows. Yes, the operating system, Windows, where every other version sucks. Every other one sucks. So when this came out, I backed out. My sponsor still grabbed this black one. I'm happy I backed out. But since this is the other one, jumping one, this I found is amazing. I love this little guy. Anyway, in true fashion, Pal Kitty was like, oh, is that what everybody's doing? I guess we can update the V90. Me too, here. And being Pal Kitty, theirs is nice and cheap, and honestly, is a great value. The Pal Kitty version should not be slept on. But then we get the RG34XX SP, the full alphabet in this, and everybody's like, wow, this thing got a massive forehead on it. But it's a great aspect ratio for GBA, and it is. And this little forehead, you tend to ignore that. You don't even notice it really quickly. This was the best clamshell in my opinion. When it was just these and this took it right here. Now I know a lot of people hate having sticks, and I get it. But like, I'm okay with the A30 and things like that because they got one stick. And once in a while I use the stick. Okay, for like PlayStation 1, once in a while I might walk around on an RPG with the stick. I don't ever use this one. So to me, that's a spare. So if I use the hell out of this one and something happens to it, I'm going to try and swap them. I'm just teasing. So, but now this comes out, and this was day one for me. I jumped right on this. My sponsor was like, yeah, I already have the bigger one. I'm not really into it. And I should have brought my Fun Key S, which is the only clamshell I have that's smaller than this, but the Funky S is more of a novelty. Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty. So I got this, ordered it. I think it cost me just above 50, shipped and all. It came in pretty quick, and the major selling point for me was this screen is the same screen in the Miyoo V4. Now, if you don't know your history here, the Miyoo Mini V1 and V2 and all that were amazing. At some point, they were selling for $400 when they stopped making them because the screen was that damn good. And for any of you about to hit the comments and say, bullshit, none of them sold for $400, I sold mine for $400. That, yeah, honestly, we got it for $60. They quit making them, and I was talking to a guy that's in my area, and we were talking about handhelds because I ended up modding a 3DS for him, and he was like, "You have a Miyoo V2?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have a Miyoo Mini V2, retro gaming, gray, and all that." He was like, "How much?" I was like, "Dude, I really don't want to sell it." And he's the one that came up with $400. I started researching it. They're selling for $400. I felt bad, and I even told the guy, "I don't want to charge you that much." He's like, "No, it's worth it." So he met up with me, gave me $400 for my Miyoo Mini V2. And then when the V4 came out, I just ordered, same color and everything for another $60. Anyway. But yeah, this has the same screen as the V4. It is beautiful. Okay? I can't stress that enough. It is absolutely amazing. Now let's get all of these kind of going here. Wake up, Pow Kitty. You're the only one that actually went to sleep. That's actually interesting. I didn't even notice that the Pow Kitty's the only one that went to sleep. Even though it was playing, it just went idle. Alright, let's wake you up. Oh, sorry, bumping cameras. Oh, I can't wait until I get my new mount. Let's get everybody to the same point. Wow, looking at all these, you can really see color difference here. Oh, that's blown out. So I try to set all these at really low brightness for the camera. But let's just step back and let's see. Wow. The coloring on all of them. What's also weird. Yeah. The rest of these in their first little stopping point when you open it are all about the same angle, but the Miyoo Flip V2 is laid back further. I just thought that was interesting. So let's start. I don't know if I want to use this scene. It's a little dark. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump out. See if I can find something more colorful. You know what? Lufia too. I knew I should have done Lufia. Let's jump all these to Lufia. Oh, damn it. Now I gotta remember hotkeys for all of them. Tell me you got... We're gonna do the original one. Are you like that? Are you like that? Okay. You know, oh, this is Botticera. I could have just click and exited. Where you at? Tell me you're on here. No restoration. Let's do original. You piece of shit. You guys probably already know where I'm going with the worst one of them because I keep talking shit every time I pick this one up. Oh, of course this one doesn't have Lufia. Well, it'll just play that game. We'll just go off the colors anyway. Alright, what do I got going on here? Are you that? Okay, yeah, you're that combo. Sorry. My new mount shows up today, guys. I'll be able to stop this stupid angle of always being top down finally. Today. This will be hopefully my last video stuck doing it this way. I prefer having my camera like right here pointed that way. Then I can even show my monitors if I need to. And when I'm naturally resting like this, you can see it, whereas you're looking at an angle down at it. And then out of habit, while I'm talking to you and showing stuff, I lift it up, and then you're looking down at the screen at a weird angle, and it sucks. But for everybody that stayed during this time where I don't have any of this, any good camera view or angle or whatever the hell you want to call it, appreciate you. Appreciate you for being here. Alright, we're gonna get in right there. So many colors on the screen. God, I love this game. And the Miyoo will just sit there like the piece of shit that it is. God, just the differences in color. Okay. Now, this one is not necessarily a fair comparison because this isn't the same game. But if you haven't gathered, I hate this one. This one is a complete waste of money. It's a complete piece of shit, and I really don't even want it to be here. So let's start here. These two are what I think are the best two screens, not only just for resolution, but color. And it's very hard to see through a camera. And I keep my overlays off. So, but you can look at the plant. Look at that green color. Look at the blue. Let's move into this one. Oh, wow, Pal Kitty, you're surprising. That's actually really close. Pal Kitty gets a little dimmer, though. There's less, I guess, backlight bleed to it. Where this one kind of got a glow across the screen from the backlight. This one doesn't have that. There's nothing green on the screen here, I don't think, but I just, oh, damn it, I keep bumping my camera. Well, let's just look at, I mean, this screen is such a piece of shit. I hate it. Jumping into this one. Yeah, I would have to say Anbernic and the Pal Kitty Flip, or Pal Kitty, sorry, the Miyoo Flip, the V2 over here, these are probably the worst when it comes to the screens, and these three would have to be the best. Now, the Pal Kitty is really surprising. I honestly didn't remember the Pal Kitty screen being that nice, but it really is. So, now when it comes to size to this little one, I mean, this is your 35XX. I mean, you can set it on it and you can see the 35XX all the way around it. I mean, if I put it in this corner, that's as much of it as it's taken up. And that's flush on all corners there. So, let's look at screen size here. 35XX. I mean, it's literally where the borders are. I mean, it's a small little guy. But it's same specs, screen-wise, as the Miyoo Mini V4. This is more like the Miyoo Mini Plus, which I also hate. Mainly because the original Miyoo Mini just was better in almost every way except for trigger buttons. And then, yeah, I didn't like the Plus. I thought it was a waste. I mean, you can see it on all sides. I mean, this is a tiny guy. And then my next smallest here is my 34XX SP. And you can see pretty much the outside of the sticks on each side is the width. Now let's talk about ergonomics, which none of these clamshells have anything on the back. It's just a flat SP style, so nothing's back here. There's no grips. So they'll never be the most comfortable device. Now you can get 3D printed grips for all of these for a couple bucks a piece, and some of these people that make these grips, they really think it out. They'll have little buttons built into the grip for things on the side, for volume, for whatever. Just do your research. But they'll make them a lot more comfortable, but you're buying these for portability. You're buying these because you can close it, protect the screen, throw it in your pocket. Now you already know I don't do that. I don't just throw handhelds in my pocket. I don't want them to get scratched up or broken. I feel like something's going to hit me right in the leg, right where I have this closed up and sitting. I'm going to bang my leg against something and shatter this screen from the back. I can't do it, all right? The only handheld I ever have put in my pocket without anything was my RG Nano, and I put it into the tiny little pocket on your jeans. You know what I mean? I stick it up there because it's out the way and it's small enough to fit there. So that's the only one I've ever done. And it's aluminum. And I turn around to where the screen's facing in. So, that's the only one that's really portable in my book. But ergonomics-wise, I could play on this for about an hour and a half with its size before I feel anything in my hands. Now, any smaller than this, and I'm probably looking 30, 45 minutes before my hand cramps up. The original Miyoo Mini V4 that I have, because of the back buttons and the way they don't stick out and they're just flat, you get used to that really quick. But using those becomes a pain in the ass, and my hands are done in about 45. With this layout, I get double that time before I have to stretch it out or readjust. So, and with this screen, beautiful screen. I can't stress that enough, that in person, with all these laid in front of me, this is the best screen. Okay? Now, sound-wise, all of them pretty much have the same setup. Speaker, 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 speaker. It's all right here, front firing right at you. And the sound quality between all of these, and this is going to surprise you which one is the best, really none of them. Okay? The speaker is mediocre on every one of these clamshells because it is a small speaker pointed right at your face. They're not that great. I'm not saying they suck. I'm saying they're just average. None of these are going to win any damn awards for best sound quality. Not going to happen. All right, so I really don't want to even go through a sound test because all of them sound like speakers. All of them, you can hear the game. There's no insane popping. There's no humming, buzzing, none of that. It's just sound. It's just basic ass shit. So you're fine when it comes to speakers. You're not getting anything super amazing, but you're not getting anything super shitty. And that even goes for this one that I hate. Okay? Now, when it comes to the Miyoo Mini Flip, there has been one thing on this device that drives me absolutely batshit insane. It's the R1, L1 buttons. They are almost flush up against the case. And if you don't press them almost on the inside and down, like all the way in and down, which means you can't really hit the corner that well or on top of the corner very well, it feels like you're not pressing it. When I first got it, I thought L1 and R1 were busted. I was about to open this damn thing up and figure out why it's not registering. And it was just sitting flush against the case like it is now. I'm pressing it and I'm not getting a click, and I'm on top of the corner trying to press it in. Now, since I've been using it quite a bit, they kind of broke in and now they work better. But I can't say that's going to be the case for all of them. I have a feeling that could be a problem in the long run. Either in the long run they wear out, or they wear in and they work wonderfully, or they stop springing back and they just lay there, just rested like a drunk chick. You know, no, just kidding, don't. Anyway, but they've gotten better in the time I've had it, but they're still not great. Now, it's still playable. I can still play any game I want on it, and it hasn't hindered that at all. But it feels weird when it's sitting in that position and I'm not getting the input I want. Okay? Now, L2, R2, they pop out just a little bit. They stick out just a little bit further because these are sitting flush. Now, that's probably right there. I'm not pressing it. I'm pressing it, but I'm not getting an input. Anyway, and if I go here, input. You almost have to be perfect with the button press. But then other times, wiggle it around, input. And kind of. Right there, nothing. It's just, look, it's pressed up against the case. I'm not getting an input. But if I slide back, I'm getting an input. Okay. But yeah, L2, R2 stick out just slightly. And like I said, it's probably the design idea is to make these as close to flush as possible, so these only pop out just a little bit, keeping its pocketability. Now you do get your USB-C charging port back here on this guy, so it's out the way, and for a small device, that's a good idea. I mean, it sucks to plug it in with the screen open, because you're like getting back here, and I don't have tiny little itty bitty hands. I have horrible, beat up, destroyed, nerve damage hands. So on the right side, you get your little power button, SD card, volume, USB-C. Very simple, very limited on things. Now let's talk about the hinge. This hinge feels perfectly fine. It opens, it feels like Anbernick's hinge. It feels like Powkitty's hinge. It only has those two resting points, just right there, naturally rested, and then I can push it back, and it naturally rests there. And it's comfortable, and it's nice, and I feel like this hinge will last. Now, we jump over here. This is no surprise to anybody. Nasty click. That's satisfying, though. That last closing, that clap, that is satisfying as shit. But it scares the hell out of you when you go to open it, and it's like a lot of resistance at this point. And you got to force it, and you know you are bending plastic when you do that. And then that is disgusting. That sounds terrible. And you can hear it creak. Ugh. You just know if one of these times you're going to open it, it's going to sound like a fucking bag of gravel in there. But satisfying as shit to close it. Sadly, this is more of a fidget toy than anything. But you're going to break it after about 400 or 500 times. Oh my god, that creaking. Yeah, this is a complete fucking waste of money. This thing right here is e-waste. This is trash. It has a shittier screen than the rest of them. I want to say it has a shittier speaker than the rest of them, but all of them have about the same speaker. Its quality is dog shit. Its sticks are dog shit. Its buttons are, well, they're buttons, so that's fine. The D-pad is, it's okay. It's a longer, skinnier D-pad than the rest of them. If you look at the Anbernick D-pad, it's regular, kind of stubby fat. This is kind of longer and skinnier. It's not that enjoyable in any way. Now there's people that love this device. You're going to be in the comments going, those sticks are just fine. I like them. Well, good for you. But you're here watching my opinion, so do yourself a favor. Grab a snack and drink and shut the fuck up. Alright, shutting this piece of shit down. Moving on. Let's talk about the Powkitty. This little cheapie is absolutely wonderful. The buttons feel just fine. The D-pad is right kind of between the short stubby and long skinny. Like it's right between Anbernick and Miyoo's D-pad. So it's a little less skinny than the Miyoo, but not as short and fat as the Anbernick, which I like the Anbernick D-pads. They do D-pads correctly. But this ain't bad. This is usable in all scenarios. The size of it, it's not small. It's just slightly bigger and wider. It's just slightly wider than the Anbernick. I mean, just ever so slightly. But it's really comfortable. This is a really good option. This isn't a video where I'm just doing a review on this saying buy this. I'm talking about all these. This is my opinion on these clamshells, period. The hinge is very smooth. It just locks into that position and you don't want to go any further. It locks into that one position. It may go back further, but I'm not the type to pry on a screen and see. but it's a smooth open. It's a smooth close. There's no real sound to it. But once it snaps into this position and locks, it's going to stay. It's not going to flop around. It's fine. I like the light being down here for some reason. It should be annoying, but it's not. I like the speaker grill. This weird smooth panel they have down here, which you can't see in my low light office. I would turn my overhead lights on, but I have a light directly above me. If you ever wondered why I'm always kind of dim lit, I have a light directly above me. If I turn that on, you're not going to see anything on these screens. It is just reflective as shit. I only turn it on for when I'm tearing apart stuff. So, anyway, back to this. This is absolutely an option for everybody. This Powkiddy V90S, I mean, for Powkiddy being the company that I feel's motto is, I don't give a shit, I'm going to do what I want, they nailed this damn thing. It is nice and comfortable. You can replace the battery. They still keep their little Powkiddy logo right here, which I feel like this would be better with just that little ninja guy they have, if they just did a small little, you know what I mean? But it's not the worst lid design I've seen. Retroid pocket. Anyway, you know, it's not like they're putting a fucking radar or sonar right here for some damn reason. This thing is really comfortable, and it's cheap. It's one of the cheaper devices on there. I think this thing's like, what, 40, 45 bucks? I would turn my monitor on and look it up for you, but this angle of camera, fuck that. So this is cheaper or equally priced with this one, and this is a very good option. The screen is not quite as good as the Miyoo Mini Flip. It's not quite as good as this, but for the price, it's a really decent screen. The control, everything is fine on this. It surprised me how good the V90S is. This is my sponsor's V90S, and every time I pick it up, I almost go to Powkiddy's website and order me one, because it's a really nice device. And I stopped myself because I'm not going to use it, because I'm more, I like my 34XX SP and this a lot, and I have, damn near same color option over here on my Anbernic. But wow, it's really nice. So if you want to go the cheap route, here's your two cheaper options, and they're both really good. Better screen, better ergonomics. Both have good hinges, buttons, everything. L2 and R2 or L1, R1 are better on the Powkiddy. But, you have ups and downs. This is bigger, this is smaller. Which one is a pro, which one is a con to you? I mean, that's up to you. I like the light being down here. I like the light being over here. It doesn't matter. That's the same to me. Speakers, about the same. They're speakers. They play audio. It sounds the fucking same. This isn't, lossless audio files. This is retro gaming. This is pixel bullshit. You're hearing beeps and boops and whatnot. Anyway. This is a really good, really solid option for anybody looking to get into the clamshell game for cheap. Let's move over to the 35XX SP. They're the first ones to really do it right. I know the V90 existed long before this one, but the V90, original V90 was shit. The V90S, nice. It's big. It's bigger than the original SP. The screen is really bright. The screen, it's got to be about fourth place in these five I have. This is about fourth place because the SP, the 34 screen is better than this one. But it's bigger. It's comfortable. The hinge is great. I've opened and closed this hinge. This is my oldest one here. Yep. I've opened and closed this hinge thousands of times, and I have not had it hang up, malfunction in any way. Anbernic, you got the hinge right out the gate. Good job. Now, just figure out what you're doing with the RGDS. Anyway. The buttons all work perfectly fine. They're all Anbernic buttons that you're used to, that you love. It's a good device. Problem is, its clone, its doppelganger right here, is cheaper. And the screen's slightly better on this one. Oh, here we go. Yeah, hit the comments. Tell me I'm a lying piece of shit. But no, seriously. I think this screen is slightly better. These colors are a little more washed out. Okay? And that's probably just from the backlight. But this is also lowest brightness setting. Now, let's jump to my original favorite, when it comes to these clamshells. My 34XX SP. Yep, that's right, the one with the sticks. I love this device so much, and I still do. This was handheld of the year when I got it. However, this one does have that creaking. Put it on the mic. Hear that? I never noticed that before. That's just me moving the screen. Homeboy needs some WD-40 or what? Now it's not doing it. Oh, there it was. So is it just when I slowly move it right there? It is. It's plastic rubbing right here. Right on the inside at the bottom. The plastic is rubbing now. Yep. About to take some sandpaper, jam it in there, and open that up. Do I think that'll be a huge problem? Do I think that's going to destroy the hinge? No. I think that'll wear in. I think I just got to the point where the screen's loosened up a little because I've used the shit out of this device, that now it's kind of adjusted and slid over. But plastic rubbing on plastic, it'll shear some off and it'll go back to being silent. Still, top handheld for me, no matter what. Love this thing, love the aspect ratio, the resolution. It's wonderful. And just like my 34XX, I mainly use this for GBA and Super Nintendo. Those are the two best systems to play on here. You will not be disappointed. And don't let that little creaking deter you. This is a wonderful handheld. Okay? I don't think you'll have any long-term issues with that. I doubt you even come across that. And if you're worried, just don't get the 16-bit one like I did. But I like the Super Nintendo colors. Okay? I hate Skittle buttons and shit like that. You know, the red, blue, yellow, green. Anyway. This, I have put hours and hours on this device. You know what? I've played a lot of PSP on this when I first got it. And I've loved every minute of this device. This thing is awesome. The screen is second place in this. It's comfortable. The buttons are right. And it's all Anbernic stuff. So 35XX type of controls just over here. It's sized right. It's just a little bit smaller. Yeah, just a little bit smaller than a 35XX. But this thing is tiny, it's comfortable, it's amazing. And let's go full circle. Now, one thing I do want to talk about before I end this is with this, aside from the only issue I've had with L and R, I've noticed most of the time my screen doesn't go to sleep. And this is stock, by the way. This is a stock firmware. I haven't changed anything. My screen does not sleep. So nothing's stopping me from throwing my Miyoo card in this and just switching this over to the Onion, because once you're on Onion, this doesn't work anyway. But since mine out the box won't sleep, which is not a big problem, because I don't ever leave my handhelds on. I know all these I just closed and they're all still powered on, but right after I stop this video, I'll go through and turn each one off. I don't ever leave them in sleep mode overnight. That is... You have save states. There's no point. I mean, back in the day with Nintendo and whatnot, if we were far from a save, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, we just left it on overnight and went to school the next day and got home hoping that shit was still on. We didn't lose power, or mom didn't come in and turn it off thinking, why are you wasting electricity? We had to hide that shit, like accidentally lay something over the power button so they couldn't see it. I've done all those things. But we have save states and shit. Why are you not just hitting a save state and powering it down at night? I mean, I will power each one of these off. There's no point in leaving it running overnight. And I know people do battery tests by turning them on, putting them in sleep mode, and setting them on the counter overnight. But are you really doing that? Is that a real world situation? I mean, I know you can forget, like, be like, oh shit, honey, I'm coming, and close this and run off and come back and it's dead because you forgot about it that whole night. That might happen. But I don't see anybody intentionally taking these and being like, sleep mode, let's just set it there because I'm in the middle of a game. That's a terrible use case. Who the hell does that? Like I said, you have a save state. I know if my wife calls me or needs something and I'm gaming, I'm hitting a save state and then going to see what the hell she wants. I mean, that way, if I power it down or whatever. And most of the time, if she's yelling at me for something, it's going to take time. So, save state, power off. What do you need, wifey? Make sure all these are off. Yep, there we go. Anyway, so let's end this thing. We're pushing 40 minutes now, and I don't like doing long videos, but I tend to rant and rave. So let's go ahead and knock out a ranking real quick of just these. Now, the Fun Key S on the side, if you don't know what a Fun Key S, look it up. That is still one of my absolute favorite clamshells because it's tiny, it's beautiful. I was watching the Fun Key project from its day one, from the moment they started. I loved the Fun Key. It's absolutely not usable, but it's great because you can make it usable. Like, you can just sit there and force yourself, and it's a wonderful, wonderful clamshell, and not necessarily in the list of actual use items, but that for a novelty handheld and tiny little micro stuff, that is first place. All right, out of these, do not waste your money on this wretched piece of shit, the Miyoo Flip V2, V1, V30, whatever the hell they're doing with this, because they sold you something they didn't give a shit about, so you shouldn't give a shit about this. Don't waste your money on this piece of shit. Okay? No. All right? Do what you want, but you're gonna fucking regret it. Moving on. So that's last place. Oddly enough, following that up is my 35XX SP. Nothing's wrong with it. It's a wonderful clamshell. It's just not as good as the other three sitting in front of me. It's big. It has everything. You even have your 3.5 right there. But I just don't like it or would use it as much as these other three. It's still great though. You could spend your money on this, and you know what? You're not doing anything wrong. You'll get your money out of it. It'll be worth it. It'll play what you want it to play. But this still comes second to last here. Following in third, gonna have to be the V90S. This, just like this, but your budget option, and feels, looks, operates the exact same. Let me cover the Pow Kitty logo. Yeah, I mean, this right here is bang for your buck. This right here is, yeah, you're getting everything you need for the price. I mean, you're getting more than you should for what you pay for this. Absolutely amazing device. Pow Kitty, you killed it with this one. And I still kind of want to order myself a red one. I don't really have a lot of red handhelds now that I'm thinking of it. Do I have a red handheld? Holy shit, do I own a red handheld? No. I feel like I do now. No, I don't. I don't know. Whatever. I kind of want a red one. All right. Now, first and second come down to these two. I'm going to have to go second place with this one. And I don't do that easily. I love this handheld. This was my primary carry for a long time. And when I say a long time, for me, that's probably a couple months. And I will still probably always go back to this. Because of the screen, because I love Super Nintendo and GBA on this screen, and because I have a stick if I need it, I'm not worried about that creaking at all. So, I keep bringing it up. Maybe I am. No, I'm really not. Yeah, this thing is amazing. The 34XX SP is great. If you're going to spend your money on a clamshell, these are the top two choices. Now, the only reason this one is taking the first place spot, even with the L1R1 bullshit that is getting better over time, is the screen. It is the most beautiful screen out of all the ones I've shown here. In person, this screen will blow you away. If you don't have a Miyoo Mini V4 and you want a clamshell, this is the one to go with. Okay? You're going to love every bit of it. Now, it might be too small for a lot of you. You'll get used to it. I mean, if you already know it's small, don't buy it if it's going to be a problem. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead and grab the Pow Kitty or one of the Anbernic devices. You know, they're bigger, but there's nothing back here. So if you're going to buy a TPU grip for any of these that you're going to buy, go ahead and get this one and then buy a grip for it, because you're going to get the better screen and then you have a grip for your hands. So if you're going to do that anyway, go with this, get the better screen. Hopefully you don't have L1R1 issues. If you do, it'll work in. It'll get better. Mine is. So if you have one of these and you're currently having issues with that, use the shit out of it. It'll get better. It's not fixed, but it's better. So I'm going to end it there. I have 2 more handhelds I'm going to go over at least this week. Very excited about them all. Very excited that they're all coming in. And honestly, while I'm doing videos on this, I just did my AY and Thor review video. My Thor is sitting right off to the side. As soon as this video is over, all these are going back in their cases, and I'm getting on my Thor. What's up? Anyway, yeah, the Thor is still all around the best handheld in existence. And my video is titled End All Be All Handheld, and I am standing by that shit. Alright guys, I'm going to end it here. If I have time tomorrow, I'll be doing a video on a whole another handheld I have sitting in. I'm going to get home, mess with it, and make sure I got my opinions and all that shit straight in my head for my video, because I don't script this shit. I just fire off the hip. And then I think I have another one showing up today. That'll be the video after the next one. And that one I am buying for a dual purpose. And I can't wait to share it with you guys. Alright, well, I'm going to end it here. Hit me up in the comments. Do you own any of these? How many of these do you own? Which one of them are your favorites? Are you as dumb as I am and buy a bunch of the same shit just with different companies and do all, you know what I mean? I mean, honestly, glutton for punishment here. We're dumb. We blow money on this stuff. But you know what? It's exciting getting a new handheld. Even if the handheld's been out for years, but it's new to you, you're like, hell yeah, I love this thing. And you want to tell everybody about it. And they're like, dude, it's been out for like 5 years. We all know about it. It's not that great. Whatever. Enjoy it, though. Enjoy your handhelds. Beat games, though. You know what I mean? Don't start playing on this. See this one be announced or some shit, and be like, oh, you know what? I really want to beat this game on that handheld because I think it'll look better and feel better and fit better. Stop doing that. Just play through it on this. We're here to play retro games, guys. Let's play them. All right. Well, that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one.